Welcome back. Okay, second video. If you go with option two for the final, there's no chord element per se. You have to, play the chords in the song, but you're not graded on chords. So just as a reminder, the concert is on May 28th at Monte Vista High School. You'll have to show up for a rehearsal at 4 p.m. We'll run through the pieces, hopefully twice each. But again, an important part of our time that day is the transitions, the physical transitions, because we have to move a lot of people. There are various different groups performing, and we want to make sure everything's smooth with that. But let's look at the first song, which is Sunshine of Your Love. This is on Canvas. In fact, I'm pulling up the Canvas document right now. So you go to our class, you go to Files, and it is called Sunshine of Your Love. And the way this is going to work is not only are we collaborating with the Rock, Pop, and Soul Ensemble for this concert, but we're also collaborating. Sorry, not only are we collaborating with guitar class, but also Rock, Pop, and Soul, in that Connor Kelpin, sort of one of our drummers for Rock, Pop, and Soul, will be performing drums for this concert on this tune. Okay, so with Sunshine of Your Love open, this is all review. None of this is new. Starts with riff 1. This is on the 3rd string G at the 7th fret 2 times, then the 5th fret, then the 7th fret. So we'll count that in with 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we drop to the D string and play 7, 6, 5, open string, 3rd fret, open string. So putting it all together, riff 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you look at the bottom of the page where it says intro, verse 1, bridge, interlude, it shows you how many times to play each section. So riff 1, you play 4 times before the vocals come in, and then 4 more times over the first verse for a total of 8 times. Then you go to riff 2. Riff 2 sounds just like riff 1, but it's higher. And because we jump from the G string to the B string, we have to shift it up, so it's no longer 7, 7, 5, 7, but it becomes 8, 8, 6, 8 on the 2nd string. 8, 8, 6, 8. But then it does go back to 7, 6, 5, open 3, open. That's riff 2. Riff 2 happens twice. If you look down at verse 1, and then it goes back to riff 1. Then we go to the bridge. I keep saying it's driving me crazy. And then I say so this is what happens when you submit videos that you don't edit. You just post. You get to hear me say and all the time. I apologize for that. I'm sure it's irritating to listen to. Then we get to the bridge. There are 3 A chords. To make it sound like the record, you want to strum down for the first chord, up for the second, and down for the third. If you're using a guitar pick like this one, it's down, up, down. If you're using your fingers, if you're using your thumb, notice I get different variations in volume and attack, but the rhythm stays the same. With the question of should you use a pick or not, it doesn't matter. Let me preface by saying it does not matter. It's going to sound great. It's mostly just your preference. For me, the deciding factor is, did the original song use a pick? If I'm playing something where the original didn't use a pick, then I don't use a pick either. But if the original song did use a pick, as is the case for Sunshine of Your Love, then I use a pick as well. So I'll leave that up to you. Use it, don't use it, your choice. After those 3 A's, we get 1 C, 1 G. Then we repeat that. A, C, G. We do that whole thing 3 times, and then we end with a 2-bar build on an A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how the whole bridge sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the ending is just the first 4 notes of riff 1. That's it. So that's the whole song. Now, I'll say this. Some of you, probably, statistically, this happens in every class, aren't going to feel great. You put in the work, you really tried, you made an effort, but it's just a little slow, or there's some wrong notes, and you're making a solid effort. It's not that you're not trying. You're trying. It's just not coming together. This happens all the time to musicians. And part of what I really love about this performance opportunity is it gives you a chance to see what that's like. And if you've performed already, you know that sometimes you have to go on and you don't feel ready, but you have to, that the expression, the show must go on. So 2 bits of advice, or actually maybe 2.5. Let's see, a few bits of advice. The first is the expression, when in doubt, lay out. If you don't know, let's say you're solid on riff 1, you know riff 1, but riff 2, you're not solid. Play riff 1 and don't play riff 2. Riff 2 comes. Riff 1 comes back. You're still adding to the sound. You're still enhancing the performance by playing the parts you know. And if you only know riff 1, play riff 1 and don't play riff 2. And that's a reality of performing sometimes. There have been moments where I've been in a live production and I'm just unsure about it. A couple years ago, I played for the Addams Family. It was a professional production with a bunch of Broadway singers. It's a musical with some Broadway performers. And they called me at the last minute because they had to fire the other guitar player. And there were a few tunes because I got the music. I was on a plane looking at the music on the way home. And then I arrived back in San Diego and I went to this thing, and there were some parts that were kind of tricky. I already kind of messed that up, but and when those moments popped up, I just didn't play. Someone else is playing. No one's gonna miss the guitar for a couple seconds, so I just played something else. So when in doubt, lay out. But you'll notice when I wasn't playing riff 2, I still looked engaged, and you can look engaged by holding the guitar and smiling, or you can look focused, or you can even kind of do this a little bit. Because if you're watching a show, if you see someone who looks like they're playing, you're just going to accept that they're playing. Like if you're looking at 100 people, you're not going to focus on one person. But if you see one person just doing this, or looking over here, or freaking out, it's obvious that there's a problem. So in those moments where you don't know, that's okay. It's fine. It's normal. I'm expecting that. That's going to be the case with a lot of people. Just look like you're into it. Even just this. I'm keeping my hands down. I'm moving my wrist. If you do that, that looks fine. Or even just don't play, but look intentional. Like, yes, we rehearsed it so that I'm not going to play in this moment. And that's not going to impact your grade. You're graded for showing up and putting yourself in this potentially scary situation of live performance. So just being there and learning from that experience, I think you get much more from that than from showing up and like playing. I'd much rather you get to feel what it's like to be in front of a stage. And for those of you who are performers already, your French horn players, your clarinet players, your drummers, your even guitar players, this is a new setting. Get up there. And this is a rock band setting. It's not just guitar. This is with electric bass, with drum set, and with vocalists. So this is a full rock band setting for both songs. So that's my talk through for Sunshine of Your Love. Now I'm going to pause and start a new video that is a demo.